emphasized a few times during the presentation that all the models that I showed are available through Google.
Benji. So, colleagues, it's Friday. So it's our last discussion, and then, yeah. Glass of cold water. So I think all of us are getting hot and we need that glass of cold water. So I'm going quickly to just present a quick stuff. I'm going to present something related to teaching with AI in Moodle. Just to let you know, I'm not going into the history of AI, not at all today. But I'm just going to discuss or to present what we can gain from AI in education, and especially within Moodle. Okay, so we are going to. I will start with digital transformation, and the reason why I want to start with digital transformation because AI is here actually to transform, to help us to transform the way we are teaching. And it's not only AI. Actually, since technology started, fourth industrial revolution, internet, all those stuff, technology helps us to transform the way that we are learning and the way that we are teaching as well. And then we're going to see what is AI in education and the benefits, and how can you use the power of AI for our educators, and as well the challenges, because it doesn't come only with the benefits. We do have also the challenges, especially when it comes to technology and when it comes to the content and copyright and so on. And I will cover as well the future of teaching with AI, because the reality is AI is here and it's not going to leave us, guys. That's the reality. So we need to understand it and how we are going to use it properly in order to get the benefit of it. So I will start just by giving a general definition of transformation in education. And the reason I focus on education because most of us here were educators, even though we are people from corporate, but those e-learning from corporate, they actually focus on education in that specific corporate. Okay. So in general, a digital transformation is a physical and philosophical change designed to meet the ever-growing demand of students. We need to adapt to technology. If we don't adapt, actually we'll die. Faculty and campus to create a learning environment where everything connects. And if you remember, we have our second speaker, Maluto, present about a school connection. That is a project that is going in Eastern Cape to try to so they can connect school. We had really presented about those integration to make sure that everything is connected to be able to pull out meaningful reports. So all those, if you can understand, it's part of revolution in education. We have a doctor presented show us some app where we have some sign languages and all of us were happy. All those that are there, to be connected and to transform our education. So this is an ecosystem that combines technology, services, and security to bridge the digital gap to create collaborative, interactive, and personalized learning experiences. So you can see we have technology, we have services, and under services too we have people, because technology itself can't come and change overnight. We need to have people who are going to use the technology to embrace our transformation in education. And those people are us, educators, e-learning people, faculty, anyone that is involved into digital teaching learning is part of that ecosystem. So we're going to bridge the gap. Someone mentioned, I think it was again our second speaker, mentioned that everyone needs to have access to education, wherever you are. Okay, so we need to bridge that gap. And technology is here to help us, and especially AI is going to assist us how to bridge that gap. So now, there's a general definition of AI, which all of us will know, artificial intelligence, referring to the use of algorithms and technology to simulate human intelligence. Actually, it's a machine learning, understand our behavior, to think like us. That's why people are afraid and say, this machine thing going to take our job. Maybe that's why maybe we use stages of adoption, but it's management. So now, the same definition, how can you apply it in education? So in education, AI is the application of those technologies, which are those algorithms and technology, to enhance learning, teaching, and administrative processes. We bring it to education to enhance what we have already. someone mentioned about a report. We are using now a certain customized software to pull out a report. But you're going to see as well, AI can help you to pull out those really informative reports. AI can help us to create what we call personalized learning. So another example, we have personalized learning. We have been talking about personalized learning for years now. And how do you do it through LMS? Okay. Doctor mentioned something about classes and lesson, where you create a small activity, quiz, and the system will direct you which activity to follow based on the result. But the question is, how do you communicate that feedback to the student? So AI can help us to pull out that report or feedback and personalize the feedback to a specific student based on the result. And we can always automate the grading, which can be done as well within Moodle. And actually, quite frankly, now we have a certain plugin that you can use into Moodle to help you to start practicing with AI. But I'm going to discuss when it comes to ethics, how will you protect data for your situation. So among the benefits of AI, we are going to see we need to personalize learning. And this for me is really a key on a learner perspective. Doctor mentioned that we have different learners. We learn differently. If you remember, he said in his demo, he used images, video, text, audio, whatever to accommodate different learners. That is always part of personalized learning. Maybe I learn more by seeing what is happening. Someone asked about how can you accommodate the practical activities within your LMS. And now we have technology with AI can help you to do all those type of activities within your LMS. So how can you personalize your learner? You can create a specific assignment. AI can help you to create assignments. Actually, I tried 1 or 2 and it worked perfectly. It's actually better to start from something, start from scratch. So if you go to OpenAI, I have an account there already, open to AI, and you tap, let's say, for example, act. I prefer to give an instruction, ask him to act as an instructor or act as an assessor, and please give me 5 multiple choice related on what is AI, and the question will come with answers. Okay. It's time saving, automating administration tasks. So we don't need to think like AI is coming to take our job, but actually we can use AI to help us to reduce our workload. So if there are certain admin work that you are doing, AI can do on your behalf and take out. We listen, for example, they don't do anything in the LMS. They just sit and the data will come from ITS, move to LMS. It doesn't mean that the place really work, but it make really work to be easier. Enhance engagement, interactive learning experience. This one is beautiful as well, because when it comes to blended learning or online learning, sometimes you feel like you are isolated, alone as a learner. But with AI, you can be able to pull out a report, and the AI can analyze by using big data, can analyze the student's behavior and help you to group the students into different groups based on the behavior or based on the results from certain activity. And you don't need to do that anymore, because if it was you, it means you must go to grading and start selecting, okay, this one will 40% one group, 45 one group. But AI can help you to do that grouping and put the students into group because they have the same behavior and it's more or less the same thinking. Enhance analytic, data-driven insight into student performance, where it can help you to do that. And accessibility, which includes inclusive education for all. And this is what actually is very important for us. As I said, all of us need to have access to education. So I'm talking about inclusive education. And when we talk about inclusive education, the question we need to ask ourselves, yes, there's LMS, but do you think about students with disability? How are they going to access your content within your LMS? If you think about those students, if you think about blind students, if you think students will probably maybe I can see blue, for me blue is red, for example. How do you accommodate students with disability to access your content within your LMS? So once we reach that point, then we can talk about inclusive, because we are including everyone to be able to access the content that we have within our LMS. So now, for me, the take out of AI it's first of all, we need to consider AI as our teaching assistant. So we need to move for using AI as a passive to use it as active learner. So you are using it as an assistant who is helping you to build something. Don't say like you are competing with AI, you're taking your space. Adaptive learning platform. AI can help you to create intelligent tutoring system. Maybe that's what you'd be interesting for e-learning people. You are looking for someone to help you to be a tutor. Actually, if you have information, I think it must be next year, if it's not late this year, Harvard, they are planning to have an AI professor. They're finalizing it, isn't it? They're finalizing it, actually. Yeah, where they're going to have an AI professor. The robot will be in class face-to-face with the learners. You ask questions, set up like me, you ask questions, you answer, and teach you. It's happening in Harvard already. So, like I'm saying, whether we like it or not, we are going to stay with our AI. Virtual reality and augmented reality in education. This one, for example, I prefer to use this example when it comes to students who are doing, for example, mining, and they can't get in service. You know, they can use virtual reality to understand what is happening within the underground. Maybe pilots. Even though nowadays our students are using medicine, UP, for example, they're using virtual reality to conduct an operation, to understand how the heart is working, and all those stuff. It's already helping on how to move our teaching to be really active. Chatbot, all of us will know about this. ChatGPT, we have some website wants to log in, we have something pop there. Do you have any question? Actually, if you make a call to a call center, that's machine will respond to you. It's part of AI already. If you are looking for this, press 1, especially if you are calling MTN. But if you want to cancel the contract, you'll never pick up. You want to update your contract, press 1, they will pick up. You want to cancel, press 2, will ring, down, you call again, that too. So we are always familiarized with chatbot. And as well, as I said, you can always automate your grading and feedback. But what I'm talking here, colleagues, all these activities will happen within your LMS, within Moodle. And challenges in ethic, as I said, yes, AI is great, but we do have challenges. And it's what is happening now. For example, when it comes to security, protection of data, it's really a challenge. So we have data and privacy. How are you going to protect student data within your LMS? We have equity to ensure that AI benefits all students. Remember, we said we need to bridge the gap. Not to increase it, we need to bridge it. So how are we going to use AI to make sure that all the students have access to it? Teacher training, we need to keep on teaching our training our lectures or our teaching how to use AI effectively. And by the way, you're more than welcome. We do provide that kind of training to help how to use AI positively and effectively. Addressing algorithm bias as well. Ethical, how do you maintain transparency and accountability when it comes to data protection? Who is accountable? Where are those data saved? So all those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Because once you put your content there, even though they're telling that AI doesn't save information, but you need to figure out where it doesn't save our information. Maybe those are the questions that we need to ask, and they must be aligned with the institution policy. And certain institutions already in Europe and across Africa, they've already started implementing AI policy that will guide the institution. So otherwise, we're going to kiss the frog. So maybe it's a time to start thinking, if you don't have yet that policy, maybe we can start that conversation with your institution. Because the students, when they log in, they're using AI, assignment, whatever, but how are you going to help them to use it effectively? And as a future, as I said, AI is still with us. We need to actually help us to use it as assistants, but not to replace our educators. We need to improve our curriculum adjustments, as I just mentioned here, those policies and whatever. Lifelong learning, AI for upskilling and re-skilling. We can get good ideas from AI. Global access, bridging educational disparities, emerging technologies, What is coming next? Question mark. Maybe something will come more than AI. Actually, I'm conducting my own studies in my PhD where I'm talking about education in metaverse. So AI is part of metaverse, which metaverse is a global one. We know metaverse with Meta, with Facebook. But now I'm going to use metaverse in education. So I'm trying to explore and see maybe if I'll get some data and publish and see what we can do it in South Africa and Africa to use education in metaverse, which is bigger than only AI. And the last one, we need to train. We keep on training ourselves, learning and unlearning in order to understand how can you benefit from AI. And thank you very much. I manage my 15 minutes.
Sorry?
15 minutes I manage. It's Friday.
Are you ready for questions, Alice?
Yeah, if there's any,
I hope they have tough ones for you today.
No, don't feel so. It's Friday, we need to go.
Are there any questions from the floor? Yes.
So in terms of implementation of AI and model, where are we? I know that, for example, I've seen a plugin on adaptive learning, of which the adaptive learning is not exactly the one that we would think. It's, I can't say shallow, but it's not at the level that what adaptive learning is supposed to be. So my question is, in terms of AI, are there developers in the community already working on that, or it's something that is still far off?
No, thank you for the question. When it comes to AI, we do have developers who are doing that. For example, Strike Plaza is one of our partners, where they do have AI development as a standard. Okay, and those are the people that we work with, for example, to do that integration within Moodle. So we can have that service as a standard one, and we are going to see how to plug in into Moodle. It can be a plugin or LTI. So it's happening. We haven't yet get the result that we are looking for, but we have tried it, and yeah, it's promising, but we just need to finalize it. But it's going to give automation adaptive learning, and it's going to give us more than adaptive learning, especially when it comes to big data, when it comes to feedback, and when it comes really to personalized learning based on the result that they're going to get from the student behavior within the LMS, which as well is going to work on giving feedback to the lecturers on which type of the content can you create for learners. So the system will be able to understand which type of learner do you have and how those learners they want to learn. And the AI will give you that feedback and say, listen, in your class, there are, for example, 20 learners, but among those 20 learners, maybe 10 enjoyed watching videos, 5 enjoyed reading, what that you gave them, and maybe 2 enjoyed maybe listening to you. And once you get that feedback, then you can say, okay, in my next content that I'm creating, so it means my learners, maybe they enjoy more what? Watching something. So most of the content maybe can be on video when they're enjoying what they're seeing. So currently, LMS doesn't give you that feedback. Yes, you can see the interaction, they've access, but we don't understand, we don't take the behavior level of enjoyment of whatever they've accessed. So it's the route that we are going to push with our partner and to see if we can reach that one. Once we reach that one, we come and publish and say, guys, here we go. We can try and assist your institution how to implement it effectively within the learning space. Thank you.
A question on this?
Okay. So in terms of AI, there is a generative, I don't know how to pronounce, but I think you get it, generative AI, the one that generates content. So my question is, how far off are we in terms of implementing that in Moodle or implementing it in the educational sector? I know that the possibilities are endless. You can be able to generate quizzes, exams, even content itself.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So that's one we haven't yet have that plugin because we have that generative content. We have it on OpenAI, where you can go and generate your content, and then we can take that content and put it in the LMS. So that's why we said, for example, we need to have the correct policy, because what is happening now, once you develop a content, or once you get a content coming from ChatGPT, for example, you need to reference, you need to make a citation, even though when you develop your content within the LMS, you must write down this content generated by. It's actually honesty. But if you don't have that policy yet, you can say it's my content, yes. But yeah, so in terms of having that functionality within the LMS, not yet, but that functionality is already out of the LMS. If you have an account on OpenAI, you have an account there, it's for free. You go there and you say, for example, I want a content on e-learning, for example. You can even just say you want it in PowerPoint and I want 4 slides, and it's going to give all the content that you want. But it's you now to make that reference clear, to say that this web doesn't come to, just to be honest. Thank you.
I think I'm lost. It's good for other people, those who are not lost. Yeah, because I'm thinking, who is in the wrong? Is it the student? Because I think mostly the issue in AI in education is the student who's taking advantage of the AI. So who is in the wrong? Is it AI? Is it the student? Of course, surely different people have answers there. But also another question is, when does AI cross the line? Or maybe the student cross the line? I think those are the important questions as we discuss about AI we should answer. Because AI, it's a development since people invented machines. Why did people invent machines? Yes, others were threatened when machines were invented, saying they are taking our jobs. And the histories there in England, they were fighting against those revolutions. So machines are created to be our slaves, to make life easy for us. Same applies, the student is doing that, taking advantage, this should be my slave. But the important question, it's making life easy, finding information for me. But the important question I think we need to focus on, we put a stop to say, this is where you cross the line. But I should be our slaves. That's what we are trying to achieve. That might be controversial. I'm putting answers here, they are putting questions there. I'm frustrated. Thank you.
You are not frustrated, really. Actually, that question, if I can answer who is wrong, I will start by saying both. All of us are wrong. Educators and students. And the reason I'm saying both, first of all, as educators, we need to educate our learners how to use AI. It's our responsibility first. I want to give an example. I'm doing my PhD. I can go to AI and type my topic there, and I can get something. But if my educator trained me and said that, listen, once you get your content from AI, go through it, for ChatGPT, go through it, because certain references which will come there, actually they don't exist. Because there's certain information you can give which doesn't exist at all. But for me to know that, what does it mean? I need to move from a passive reader to an active reader, where I'm going, okay, you give me the content, but let me go through and verify that whatever you give me is correct. Because if you just take any topic, you can even take a name which doesn't exist and ask ChatGPT to give you the summary of that person. It will create something for you. It's happening. So I'm saying both, but the big responsibility is us as educators. We call ourselves educators. We need to train our learners, our students, how to use AI effectively. What are the benefits? After doing that, then we can go to the students. Listen, we train you to use it effectively, but you are not using it. Then you are at wrong. And to do that, maybe we start by having a policy first. Because when you come into referencing, so far we are using Harvard, but when you check, Harvard doesn't tell us how do you reference work generated by AI, for example. Maybe that can be our our conversation. And after that, we train first our academic, we train our librarian, because they're the one who are actually responsible for academic integrity, and then we train our learners. So our learners are the last one. We are the first H1, then we have our, it's where I can answer that question. Thank you very much.
Maybe I can just add on that one.
Yes, sir.
AI is not the same with a calculator. Isn't the same with a calculator, because we used to say 2 plus 2 is 4. But as Mr. saying, this AI is supposed to be our slave. It's the same as a calculator is our slave. Today you cannot add 10 plus 10. You must just go to calculate and say 10 plus 10 is 20. This is how I think at the end it will be in that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions or perhaps comments?
Hopefully there's nothing.
I guess then, the Bible says that there is nothing new. This, as we discuss, I don't think this is, the issue of credibility of information sources, it's an old principle that has been there. When people are doing their first research course, I remember there was a cartoon when I was still doing education of a dog, surfing the net, chatting, and all of that stuff. Then another dog comes, say, but you're a dog. Don't you know there are people on the net? Why are you chatting with people? And the dog responded, you know what? On the internet, no one knows that you're a dog. You see, so you should just continue chatting even if you're a dog. So the thing is, we can have, as we had before with information sources, we are going to also have good and bad AI. For now, because not a lot has happened, people have not realized that, because there is always good and bad, evil intentions AI. So I'm saying, but to deal with this, it's an old thing that has been there. It's just that now we'll be talking about AI and also the problem of autonomous AI systems, which means that they can end up enslaving us. Because I think, as I was asking, they say when you ask, you also have partly some answer stored somewhere, like that quotation. The problem is when AI will be trying to enslave us. Because the more we create autonomous systems, which are self-improving, learning, they are going now to calculate about us, you see, enslave us. I think that's the challenge, but on average, there is nothing new. It's just that, maybe we have a new term AI, but the same old trick, rules, whatever are there.
Thank you very much, really, for the input. So, Sazi, I think we have something to say. So, it's a Friday. I think it's a time we support a roundtable, but we feel like we can skip it and allow people to later have maybe pictures. I don't know what's your plan, Sazi. And ma'am.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Elvis. As Elvis has mentioned, it is a Friday. I think after that hefty lunch, we must get everyone, just be in a lounging position and, start planning for the month ahead and so forth. So we have reached the end of our program. I don't know why he's running away, because he's supposed to give us a formal closing, Mr. Elvis.
Go ahead. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for availing yourselves once again today. I think it's best to say we've had quite a fruitful session. I've heard, just walking around, I've heard some discussions, and I think Elvis is going to be pretty busy in the months coming. So if there are any other questions, any other comments, would love to hear on what things we can do satisfy your experience next time, we'd love to hear that. If you could maybe take the mic and give us a few pointers, or maybe if you feel comfortable sending me an email, please do. I'd love to know what we can do to make your experience better for our next event. Okay, if there's anything else, Elvis?
Maybe from the public, if maybe any inputs? Yes.
I think maybe you can just extend the invites to the head of department curriculum, because you might find that we are at a certain level where we cannot be able to take a decision and also to apply what we have learned here. But if maybe we have those people, it would be better to go there and then make sure that we apply it effectively. And then thanks very much for the presentation.
Thank you so much for that. Anyone else? All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's one more.
It's Friday.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't think it's just a comment. I just want to appreciate all the presentations that are there and wish that we can have all the presentations so that when we're looking at the presentations, we look further whether we are being enslaved or we are being enslaved in something else. And we have to look at how do we kiss the frog, because I was looking at the Eastern Cape and say, I'm not sure whether which flag I'm going to kiss. And at the end of the day, we need to do it. Whether we want it or we don't want it, but at the end of the day. But then the question of the AI, I want just a bit to say, I think it's very important what teachers will be saying to the learners. That is the good instruction, because if you gave the learners the wrong instruction, they will be taking it and they will be responding in the right way. If they can be trained to say, if you are doing this, can you please try, you don't give the answer, but you just have various responses. What is it that I can do? If I'm given this, what are the options? So that the learner will be able to catch the better option, not necessarily giving the learner the options on what to do. But I think Elvis, we have gained a lot. On our way back to the Eastern Cape, we'll be taking so much from the various speakers that were here today. And we think we're going to improve in our movement. I like the way of that English change that we're talking about the hen and what. I think I like that one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think, Elvis, just to add on to what Umamsiki was saying, there is an idea that we have as DIS to foster Moodle users. I think we called it Moodle forums, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't have to end here. I know webinars can be tedious, but I think, the likes of Dr. Giel, I think the likes of Mr. Willie, we can get together maybe once a month and actually share experiences. What have you discovered that's new on Moodle? I know they update on a continuous basis. If there's someone who has mastered that certain thing and is able to share with everyone else, I don't know how you would feel about it, if we can maybe start an initiative of that sort. But I think it would be a brilliant idea. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sazi, for brilliant idea. So, any comments? Are we? It's Friday. So, how do you say it? You said one? How do you do it? 1, 2?
Going once.
Okay.
Going twice.
Okay. Going once. Going twice. And what?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thank you.
Anyone up for pictures, guys? Anyone up for pictures? We can just try and organize to come here, have a group picture.
One.